Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? Dubs Hill here, back again. I know, look. I know you're all asking. The guy looks like he's been sleeping on the streets. Not really. I've just not shaved much this week, or at all. And I was going to do it today. I was going to have a nice shave, but then I thought, dude, hold on a minute. These guys don't care about the volume of facial hair. And they also don't care about your male grooming regime. What they care about is the knowledge and the content that you can provide to your viewers and your audience. So with that, I thought, so I'm not going to shave. I'm not going to focus on my male grooming regime. What else can I possibly do today? And then it hit me. I'm going to show you how I make my intros. Yes, so welcome. We're back for another tutorial. So this time, as I said, I'm going to show you how I make my YouTube tutorials. Now, tutorials, intros rather. Let's make an intro instead. A lot of people ask me, Dubs, how do you make your intros? Your intros are great, your intros are sick. How do you get the transitions and the text animations and all that sort of thing? So I thought, well, why not do a video and show everybody how it's done? Or at least how I do it. Obviously everybody does things differently, but this is my workflow and this is how I do it. Obviously I'm using the loop deck as well, so I'm going to try and use that throughout it. Not that that's really got anything to do with the intro, but I thought I'd let you know anyway. So to start off with, for any intro, like any video, you need a decent soundtrack. A decent, captivating soundtrack is going to engage with your audience, but most of all it's going to engage with your video content, so it all tells a story. And an intro for me, it has to tell a story about you as a person, about you as a creator, what it is you do, you know, how you do it, you know, showing your personality and your persona all in one short video. And it has to be short. I always tell people to, you know, don't make an intro any longer than say 10 to 18, maybe 20 at a push seconds. Just because it doesn't need to be any longer than that. It just needs to be short, sharp, snappy, engaging, lets people know what you do and who you are and what you're about. Okay, so let's start. So if we open up Final Cut, before we do that, actually, where I get my soundtracks from, obviously I use Epidemic Sounds, I use Artlist, but for an intro, you want a track that's gonna be produced to the amount of time, the duration of time that your intro needs to last. Now, if you're good at sound design, like myself, I'm a music producer, I use Logic Pro X, so I can typically take any soundtrack and make it work, you know, by just cutting it, chopping it, fading it where it needs to end, so it actually sounds like it was composed for that amount of time. But if you're not into music production or composition, I use a site that is really good, and it actually has logo and intro stings on it for that duration of time. So you can choose one for 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 20 seconds, 18 seconds. So the site I use is called Audio Jungle. Now this is great. Obviously you have to pay for the tracks, but there's some real good stuff on there, and as I said, you can get it and the track is actually produced for that length of time. Yeah, so go on Audio Jungle, pick the track, buy it, download it, job done, there's your track. Okay, so that's the music. Now the production. So if we open up Final Cut, okay, so we're going to go File, New Project, and I'm going to call this Dubs Intro. Okay, right, 1080p, 1920 by 1080 and 24 frames per second. Okay, leave all this as is. Okay, click OK. There we go. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, if you don't do this already, for this, is we want to get up a magnetic timeline, because to have a magnetic timeline, it means we can move our video clips wherever we want them, and we don't have to worry about them sliding out of sync and sliding them out of pace. Okay, so just select a clip, hit the Q button, and there we go. There are other ways of doing this, but this is how I do it. Delete the clip. There is our magnetic timeline already. Okay, so I've got my track up here, so I'm just going to drag this in down into here and leave that there. There we go. And I'm just going to drag this magnetic timeline so it actually is exactly the same size as my intro. Yeah, just minimize this a bit. So there's my music. Okay, I'm just going to play this. Okay, I'm just going to decrease the volume a little bit because it's a little bit hard. Sorry if I'm babbling on just a bit too much. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to come up here and we need to increase the size of our waveforms, because what we want to do is we want to see where our beats are. Yeah, so I'm sure you all know this already, but what we're going to do is we're going to create markers on the audio. So I'm just going to enlarge that a little bit more so I can see that. I'm going to create markers, and these markers are going to be used for where we want our clip transitions to go. It's always better when you're editing a video to do it on the beat, or on the snare, or it just creates a much better video concept for you, and it's visually a lot more engaging. Okay, so we're just going to play this and we're going to hit some make some markers on the beats. I actually have movable markers done from Command Post. In my last video, the loop deck video, it actually shows you how to download the free Command Post and actually how to activate the movable markers, which is great. We may need to like chop these about as we go along, which is fine. That's absolutely fine, but it's just trial and error at the end of the day. So what we need to do is we need to get in our clips. Okay, so Command I is going to bring up our browser. Where are we? We want desktop, and I've got this folder here. I've called Intro Tucked, just so I know what it is. It's a lot easier like that. I'm going to bring all these in, select these, import. Now I might use other clips rather than just this, but these are the clips I'm going to start off using. Okay, so our first clip, right, we're just going to bring all these into where they need to be on the mark and line them up with the markers. Just one. Make sure we've got this whole clip in. I'm just going to put these in any order at the moment and then see how it works. Next one. In there. Obviously if the clip's too long and you want to get it to where you want it, so I want that to start there where I'm drinking tea. So I'm just going to hit Command B, make a cut out there. I'm going to drag this to where I want it on that marker, and then come to the next one, probably there, yeah, maybe there. Command B, cut that. Next clip down here. I'm going to find where I want them. I'm just coming out over the skateboard. There he is there. I'm just going to cut that there. Bring that clip in there. Let's just ride that through. Okay. Don't worry if I'm going quiet. Make a cut in there as well. The silence is nice, isn't it? It just shows that you're working and being productive. Another one there. Let's get this one in here. Cut that right there. Bring that in where we need to cut it. Now notice what I'm trying to do, I'm just sliding through these clips and selecting the bit that I want. Yeah, does that make sense? Cut that out there, just finding the bits that I want out of each clip. I'm going to bring this one down here, find the exact bit of the clip where I want, and then I'm going to just cut this out. So it's quite easy, and it is, again, it's just trial and error at the end of the day. You know, this takes, I'm just going through this quickly, just to show you how I do it, but you know, you'll probably spend a lot longer finding the exact, you know, the right bit of the clip, you know, that you actually want to use. But just for the purposes of the video, I'm just making it nice and short and snappy for you guys. Yeah. So actually, I've got another. That's okay. We'll use this one in here for now. It wasn't the one I was intending to use, but it will do. It will do for now for the purposes of the video. Okay, so what we also want to do is go and take the volume of all the clips down. So we've got no volume interfering in our clips. Get rid of the volume for all of them. Okay, so we're just going to play that through. Okay, that's fine to start off with, yeah. You know, we can jig them about if we want to, and be a little bit more of a perfectionist, but for the purpose of the video, I'm just doing it this way and just getting some clips in for you, just obviously to make it work and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so if we go back into Final Cut now, so the first thing we want to do is just highlight this magnetic timeline, Command B, and get rid of that loose end. If we don't get rid of that loose end, when the intro video is finished, it's going to continue to run, and it's just going to cause you problems. It's going to look a bit naff, really. So I sounded like Frank Butcher there off of Oh Pat, what you done to me, Pat? Anyway, back to the intro. So yeah, let's get rid of this bit here. Okay, then the next thing we want to do is we're going to highlight all of these clips, and then we're going to Command G. What this has done is given us this magnetic timeline up here, but it's created this another storyline. So what this does, it allows us to add transitions to these clips without worrying about them shuffling left and right and moving out of sync with the beat where we've got them. Actually, tell a lie, what I'm going to do first, let me just get rid of this, because I'm going to get rid of this last clip here, because I've got a better one here that I want to put in here, which is going to go on there. I'm going to cut that out there with you in 2 seconds, guys, and I'm going to cut that off there. That's better. A little bit of DJI Mavic Pro 2 drone footage at the end. So anyway, let's highlight all these clips. I'm going to Command G, and that's going to create another storyline up here to allow us to add transitions. Okay, so if we go in our transitions tab over here on the right hand side, lights, and we're going to put a little flash at the middle. Just going to minimize that just a little bit. Okay, and then another one, flash. Then we're going to have a bit of light noise. We're going to pop that in there. Try and make your markers line up. See where they line up with here. That will mean that the actual transition and the video clip will appear when it's supposed to, if that makes sense. Otherwise it'll be slightly out of sync. Yeah. Then we're going to go with a bit of bloom in the next one on here. Again, just obviously work with it and move it around to how you want it to be. And then let's put a bit of what should we have in here? Let's put a bit of lens flare on this one, and then we're going to go bloom again on here, and then flash on here. Okay, right, so that's what we've got so far. And you can see how that works. It's working pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking it so far, but we have not finished. There's still more to do. We want this to be as good and as engaging as possible. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to come up the top here into the titles tab, and we're going to come down to generators. Okay, so we just want a custom generator, and we're going to stick this up here on top. Just bring that down, and we're going to pull this all the way across. There we go. Now, as you know, whatever's on the top of the timeline, that is what you will see. So we're going to come up here into here, and what we're going to do, we're just going to drag this opacity down. Yeah, just going to drag this opacity down. We don't want it too bright, and we don't want it too dark. We want to be able to see the actual video footage, but what we want to do is we want to add text in a minute, so we want the text to stand out also. So we're just going to drag this opacity down just until we feel like we get it right, and I think that's probably about right, probably somewhere around there, 85%. Okay, so that's our generator in. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add in a basic title, which is there, and we're going to drag this all the way along. So this is our basic title here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to make cuts in this basic title there, for each clip. Where each clip changes, we want to add a new basic title there, one more in there, one more on here, and then the last one on here. Okay, and then we're going to add our text in here. So we've got the title up here, that's fine where it is. I'm going to come up here. So first one, Dubs Hill. Over here, there we go. So we can just adjust the font to what we want the font to be. So just work with it until you find, I think that one's quite nice because it's quite bold. We're going to increase the size of this to about there. Adjust your line space, your tracking, just to pull the letters apart from each other. Not really sure about that font actually, I might change that. That's quite smart. Impacts, again, that's quite good. I think I'll go impact. I'm just going to enlarge that a little bit, not too much, not too much. There we go. So the next one is, what's our clip? Okay, so we've got me with a gimbal, so I'm going to put in gimbals. Yeah, just check as well, just check the sizes of your font. Yeah, so I've got 160 on here just to keep them the same, and obviously the font as well. So we're going to come here, we're going to go up here, we're going to come down to what was it, impact, and I think it was 160, there we go. And the tracking, what was our tracking? Just go back again if you need to just check what it was. The tracking is at 20.13, so we'll do the same on here just to keep it uniform so they're all the same. 20.13. There we go. Gimbals, next one. Well, that speaks for itself, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Tea drinker. You got to have a little bit of banter in there, ain't you? Do you know what I mean? It's not all about being serious. So tea drinker, again, I've already forgot what my spacing and stuff was. We've got impact, we've got 160 and 20.13. Tea drinker, we've got tracking 20.03. One sixty, and we want impact down here. Tea drinker, and then basic title. Let's do this first. 20.03, and then the size 160. Get over where we need to be, and let's put what should we put on here? Shall we put tech toys? I'm just making these up as I go along, but obviously you can change them to whatever you want. What's the next video? So this is film, okay? So film, impact 120, enter 20.03. Toys 160. Just go through and just obviously check that everything's the same, because obviously that's 120 and I want that to be 160. You Wally, film. This one here, oh, that's got to be drones, isn't it? Yeah. So drones up here, if I can spell right, drones 160, tracking 20.03, and then again, I mean, you could probably copy and paste this if you wanted to, but right, so I'm going to call this one adventure, impact 160. You guys bored yet? Hope not, we'll get there. 20.03, there we go. And then this one here, I'm just gonna put something like, see ya, 160, enter, tracking 20.03, and then we want is impact. And then on here, I think transitions wise, I think we will go into I've loaded the R for More transitions and effects pack. Are literally ridiculous. They are absolutely wicked, and I love them. So I'm going to use a real dissolve on the end of there, just so it dissolves out nice. Okay, right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same as what we've done down here. Yeah, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to highlight all this text and hit Command G, and it's going to do exactly the same thing for us, and it's going to create another storyline. Yeah, so what we can then do is we can add the transitions to the text as well to make that work and complement with the video clips as well. So not only we've got transitions on the actual video footage, but we're now putting transitions on the title again, which works really, really well. So we are going to go into transitions tab, and then we're going to go lights. So we're going to pop a flash in there. I'm going to bring that down a little bit, and then we're going to bring a blue into there, I think, make that a little bit smaller. Again, it's just trial and error. Just keep adding stuff, keep playing it through, and see how you get on until it's to your taste at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. If you're happy with it, then other people will be happy with it. Simple as that. Just obviously be happy with your own work. But you know, I'm rushing this, you know, through just a tutorial video for you guys. But when I actually make my real intro videos, obviously I spend quite a great deal of time, but I'm just trying to power through because I don't want this to be an hour and a half long video for you. So where are we? Right, let's do a bit of light noise on this next one here. We're just going to drag this a little bit smaller. Maybe, no, let's go for a lens flare across this one here. Then let's go for, let's have a look at movements. What we got on here? I quite like this one with text, and that's earthquake, which is quite a good transition. I like that. Flashback. I'm just dragging anything in here just to give you an idea of what we're doing. Let's go into movements again. Earthquake, flashback, fall, flip. Let's do actually let's go into lights and we'll do a bloom on that one there as well. Let's just make that the size we want it. Okie dokie. Right, so what we can do now as well is you can add sound effects if you want to. I'm not really going to bother in here, but you can add sound effects if you want. It's quite a good way of doing it. I mean, I obviously use sound design and sound effects, you know, in all my videos and videography, you know, B-roll, etc., as I'm sure you guys do. But again, it's personal preference. It's how far you want to take it at the end of the day, you know. So just play around with it. Again, be careful with things like this. Make sure you cut this magnetic timeline off. Let's just bring this down so we can see this all in here now in the timeline. And basically there's your intro video. If I just play this through, now that's looking pretty decent. And there we go. That is awesome. If you guys are looking for somewhere for sound effects, I use Epidemic Sounds and Artlist, and they're full of them. But another good one that I use is Free Sound Mini. Now here it is. I mean, this is brilliant. I just type the stuff up in the search bar, and there's the effect. You download it, totally free, MP3 format, and it works for me. Effects, music, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's all over the place. So again, it's personal preference and whatever works for you and what your go-to is for your sound. So, and things with sound effects and music and stuff like that, especially sound effects and sound design stuff like that, I always tend to it's always good to make a folder, you know, on one of your hard drives or externals with those go-to places, so you haven't got to waste time, because in the day workflow is all about speed and how quickly you can get projects out and videos out and stuff like that. So if you can do a bit of housekeeping, you know, and get stuff in your go-to folders, you know exactly where it is and where to find it on your computer, and it just makes things a lot quicker. So anyway, that is the tutorial, how I make my intros videos very, very quickly. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. I'd love to hear in the comments. Comment below any questions you've got, or if you like this video, thumbs up, and please keep subscribing down the bottom. Hit that big red subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys soon. Dubs Hill. Take care.